Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I fell in love with film and animation at a very young age. My favorite director when I was younger was Tim Burton, and one of my favorite films was, and still is, The Corpse Bride. Why is that? Well, today we're going to look into that.
What if Victor and I don't like each other?
As if that has anything to do with marriage.
Tim Burton, creator of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Why go up there when people are dying to get down here?
Comes a tale of wit, charm, and strife.
I'm not dead!
About a timid young man.
Victoria!
And the love of his life.
Sounds creepy.
Can a heart still break once it's stopped beating?
A tragic tale of romance, passion,
I feel the same.
and a murder most foul.
He's married to a corpse. What a cutie.
You should have seen him with fur.
Tim Burton's Corpse Bride.
This is gonna be good.
Corpse Bride was released in 2005. It was written and directed by Tim Burton, co-directed by Mark Johnson, stars Emily Watson, Helena Bonham Carter, Christopher Lee, Albert Finney, and Johnny Depp. This project started in 2003 when Tim Burton came up with a script based off a short Jewish folktale, more on that later, and a couple of rough sketches. Most acting and casting wouldn't occur until just before the film was released, around the same time that Tim was also working on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which also starred Johnny Depp in the lead role of Willy Wonka. This is important to note because when it came to marketing, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory seemed to have more advertisement and a wider release than The Corpse Bride. So I have always felt that Corpse Bride has received less attention, but in my opinion was the better of the two films. Back to the start of the project in 2003. Work had begun on this animated picture, which was to be done in stop motion. At the time, stop motion was considered a dying art. Why? Because stop motion took time. Lots of time.
Stop motion is such a painstaking process. There's so much detail, there's so much physical work that has to be done to move the project forward, literally frame by frame. Mike comes from a really strong stop motion background, and so he inspires the group and kind of leads them through the Herculean task of getting these shots out.
Mother never approved of Scraps jumping up like this, but then again, she never approved of anything.
Looks good. A stop-motion project on this scale, it's a rare thing. These projects don't come around very often.
If you're making a live-action film and you're doing it all in blue screen, it doesn't give you that same sort of feeling as actually being there, which this process does.
A few interesting things to know of The Corpse Bride is one of the animators described Tim's characters to be incredibly hard to work with due to their tiny, skinny limbs and small details. The puppets that were created to capture Burton's vision was innovative. Each puppet had a small metal skeleton frame, and the faces of every puppet dealt with a system of pulleys and pins built inside the skull. Similar techniques had been used in commercials, but Corpse Bride was the first full-length featured film to use this technique through the whole animation process. The pins and pulleys in place allowed an animator to use a skeleton key to access the puppet's face through the ears or by removing the hair of the puppet. This allowed for more facial expressions and detail in the eye movement. The Corpse Bride was also the first stop-motion animation film to be shot digitally. This allowed animators to be able to see their work almost immediately after shooting the scene.
A lot of people thought that computers and digital technology would be the death of stop-motion animation, but really it's bringing it forward.
This is a Canon EOS 1 Mark II. It's a stills camera.
It's a very sophisticated 35mm digital camera that they shoot with.
It's a very, very long process of just moving and filming and moving and filming and moving and filming. And she's put in a lot more hours than I have, put it that way.
The whole notion of, click, next frame, click, next frame. There's a part of you that thinks it may be kind of, but it's not. It's super fascinating.
We simply do the voice, and
They then have to fit the facial expressions and lip movements to the words. Well, it's always been like that since the very beginning. That probably is the toughest job of all, I would think, from the point of view of putting it all together.
Back to that Jewish folklore we were talking about earlier. Tim Burton read the small story and based the entire script off of it. However, Tim brings his unique charm to the tale and changes quite a bit about the main character herself, the Corpse Bride. After reading the tale myself, it was quite horrific, the vengeful spirit that was the Corpse Bride. However, Burton brought about a whimsical fairy tale-like charm to the tale, creating the Corpse Bride to have a moral conscience and a character arc that is quite impressive for a children's film.
I will be...
Go on, my dear.
Your cup will never empty, for I will be...
I will be your wine.
She's having second thoughts.
I can't.
What's wrong?
This is wrong. I was a bride. My dreams were taken from me. Well, now I've stolen them from someone else. I love you, Victor. But you're not mine.
Other changes he made were the change from a more Jewish background to a Victorian-like era, and a murder mystery to be added into the plot. This is probably one of the reasons I enjoy Tim Burton's work the most. He's able to take something quite dark and find a lighter and more comedic side to its dark nature. The following scene showcases the beautiful art of visual storytelling captured in Tim Burton's films, especially his animated stop-motion ones.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I lied to you about wanting to see my parents. It's just this whole day hasn't gone quite, well, according to plan.
Pardon my enthusiasm.
I like your enthusiasm.
This is gonna be good.
Oh!
Hit it, boys.
Hey! Give me a listen. You corpses of cheer, beastles of you, who still got an ear. I'll tell you a story and make a skeleton cry of our own jubiliciously lovely corpse bride. You might try to hide and you might try to pray, but we all end up that remains of the day. That's right. Well, our girl was a beauty known for miles around when a mysterious stranger came into town. He was plenty good looking, but down on his cash. And our poor little baby, she fell hard and fast when her daddy said no. She just couldn't cope, so our lovers came up with a plan to elope. Die, die, we all pass away. We took her around. super